What's up, Bass Heads? This is Mr. Bass, and I hope you're doing well today. I was going through old photos and videos and things the other day, and it got me to thinking about fishing and how crazy this sport is. You know, fishing for people who don't get it think you just hook up a line and throw a bait in the water and reel, and if you catch something, you catch something. If you don't, you don't. But you know, those of us that do it all the time and that are addicted to it, it's a huge challenge. And because it's such a challenge, and because you have to use so many mental faculties to figure out the game, and you know, because you have to factor in temperature and barometer and the moon phases and the water clarity and the wind and the time of year, and all these things, it makes fishing incredibly challenging. It's an incredible mental sport that I think so many people don't realize. And there's something about it that, you know, just keeps you coming back for more. One thing that is just absolute off the wall, crazy fun is catching big fish. It's interesting. Fishing is fun. Catching is even funner. And catching big fish, there is nothing funner than catching big fish. The only thing that's maybe just as fun as catching big fish is being with someone, a buddy, a friend, a relative, and seeing them catch a big fish for the first time. And I've got quite a few experiences like that. I've got a few that I've got photos of. So I thought I'd mention those, and I'll plug the photos in here. One is my nephew. My nephew Dakota loves to fish. That kid is a fishing machine. And I took him out. I've taken him out quite a few times, but I remember the first time I took him out, he was a little guy. And we went fishing, and he caught about a 2-pounder. And, you know, 2-pounder's not that big, but in front of him, the thing looked ginormous. And he was so pumped and motivated about that. And I got some great photos of him doing that. Another is a good buddy of mine, Jim. Jim is an incredible guy. He's such an unbelievable philosopher and thinker, and he loves to fish. It's a real cerebral process for him. And he fishes. He's kind of a one-trick wonder. He likes to fish with a lizard, fishes with a lizard most of the time. But he and I went out fishing together quite a while, and I took him to a spot that I had a lot of luck and got to see him catch, I think, the biggest fish of his life at the time. And it was really exciting for him. Then I have another buddy that's Gemini's friend named Rob. Same thing. Rob's done a ton of fishing in Alaska and other places, so he's caught big fish. But I think he caught his biggest bass with me. I took him to a special secret hole that has huge bass in it, and he caught one well over 8 pounds. And I got a great shot of it too that I'll share with you here. So these kind of things are super exciting. And then recently, just a few weeks ago, I took a buddy of mine. He's a good friend of mine that likes to fly fish. Not a big bass fisherman, but I said, hey, you ought to go with me. So I took him out for the first time, and we were fishing for bass with typical bass baits, chatterbaits, and you know, jigs, and all kinds of different things. And we were catching them pretty good. But the biggest fish was maybe, I don't know, 3-4 pounds. And then after a while, he said, you know, I think I'll maybe try to catch some bluegill. And I said, well, sure, if you want, knock yourself out. There's some good bluegill in this pond. And I hooked him up with a little crappie jig. I think it was an bright orange crappie jig. And he walked over to the shallow side of the pond and started casting it. I think maybe three or four casts in. It wasn't very many. he said, "Man, I got a big bluegill. I got a big bluegill." And his spinning rod goes, I was thinking, man, if you've got a bluegill, that is a world record. I mean, that's got to be humongous. And all of a sudden, you know, this, and I was like, holy cow, you got a bass. That's a bass. That's a bass. And he reeled that thing in, and it was well over 5 pounds. He said, "That is the biggest bass I've ever caught in my life." And I got a little video on that. I'll throw it in.
This giant. Man. Nice one, Brett. That is a sweet.
I mean, to see him catch that was so fun. It was just a blast. It really was. So, what's your big fish story? What's the biggest fish you've ever caught? I've caught some giant pike up in Canada. I've caught some really nice big salmon up in Alaska. And I've caught my share of big bass, but I've never caught a double-digit bass. I've been trying now for a good 10 years to get a double-digit bass, and I've just missed it several times. The reality is, catching a large fish, catching your personal best, there's nothing funner. It's just so exciting, so exhilarating. So I'm going to throw in here an unedited video of my personal best. And I was fortunate that I had a video camera. I didn't have the video camera while I caught it, but once I brought her in, I quickly turned on the video, and I was so excited. I was just shaking. I was so excited when I caught this 9-pound plus fish, just under 10 pounds. It was just amazing. And yes, I mishandled the fish here. I toss it back. I shouldn't have done that. I was so excited, so pumped up, I was not thinking straight at all. And that's what catching big fish does to you. It will just take your breath away. And I don't know how these pros do it, you know, when they're like fishing for a major tournament and they land a huge fish and it's so exciting, the adrenaline's running. I don't know how they keep themselves calm and keep going, because when you catch those big ones, and I'm sure in a competitive situation, it's just so much fun. So hopefully you like this, and please share with me your personal best. I'd love to hear when you've caught your personal best, and have a great time fishing. If you like this, please share, like the video, subscribe. It really means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate it.
Okay, we're recording. This is a big day for me. This is the largest fish I've ever caught in my whole life. He's over 9 pounds. At one time, the scale is off. I mean, it can be off as much as 6 ounces, so I don't know, but not over 9 pounds. Look at this guy. He's 26 inches long. I caught him. It's December 17th. It's about 50 degrees though. I caught him out here at the Far West Pond with a white lizard. Look at that guy. 9 pounds. He is fat and healthy. He's huge. And I'm so excited that I've probably kept him out of the water way too long. So, there you have it. I'm going to go put him back while he's still that light. Woohoo! 9 pounds! My first 9-pound bass! Yes!